today, gang?
All right, we finally made it to Middlesbrough.
Welcome to Middlesbrough, home of the Palmo, Lee Duffy, Chris Rea, Brian Clough, Paul Venice, Bob and Dave, lots of different, Captain Cook, Middlesbrough, lots of interesting people have come out with this town. I've covered a few of the books, you've got a few of the guests.
Jamie is an expert on Lee Duffy, Paul Sykes. We've published his audio books. Check out his channel, Warcry Publishing. We're at the Lee Duffy murder site right now, and Jamie's going to talk us through it.
Right, I'm going to put this pen on the wall.
So where we are at now, so this is Martin Road, and back in August 1991, this was the Western and Afro-Caribbean Centre. Basically, it was the home of an illegal blues, if you like. Entrance was £1, or a couple of quid. Red Stripe lager for sale, carton of curry, you know, all the kind of reggae music. And so Duffy had been in the Havana, turned up here. Let me think. 2:45, wide-eyed. People there said poison the atmosphere. Obviously, many people in here, and you know, I spoke to witnesses over the years, spoke to the police, and basically said Duffy turned up, move, get out the way. So it was a bit like the Red Sea. Obviously, a fight erupted. So they went outside, Lee Duffy, and the guy in question, I'd probably rather not name, and. So this is where the Afro-Caribbean was stood. I used to walk past it for many years, and obviously when I first started books I would have loved to have come in, and it was demolished a couple of years back now, so it's a car park. So Duffy and you know, the guy that went out here. I made with Fat Cat Productions last year, the documentary. So at the start of the documentary you see a wall there. Obviously it's no longer here. You can see the footage on the news of the blood. So the fight in question on the night was exactly here. Duffy, you know, come on top by far. I spoke to someone who cleaned him up when he was dead, and he said didn't look like he'd been in much of a fight. I spoke to the police as well. Obviously, you've had one of the guests on, and he said when we went to see him on the morgue, obviously, you know, towel covering his you know, modesty, and but he said he never had a mark on him. Obviously, there was the fatal mark there and a stab wound, but facial wise, a couple of marks on his knuckles, but this was exactly he shown. In the book, the references of Duffy hitting his head off the floor happened exactly here. Yeah, so you know, the police got a phone call at 3:20 on the morning. 3:22, saying there was a road accident, someone's been hit. Looking back, the police said to me, so that's how we basically decided what time it happened. So obviously, you know what went on, the demise, and it wasn't very nice. So he was stabbed just over there in the corner, which I'll go exactly because I've seen the police did.
Try not to get hit by cars.
Getting run over in Middlesbrough.
So he was stabbed there. Obviously, I mean, I spoke to the police on this, and some people that, you know, I can't really name, but this is factual stuff, and I've read reports, and obviously the knife wound was there. So, and do you want me to show you where the
Yeah.
Does it feel eerie, Sean?
Just after hearing all the stories, to actually go to the location, you know, like we said in Talk Stuff, it's just interesting, isn't it? Because you imagine it all in your mind, but when you get there, it's something different.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the police got a call at 3:22 saying there's been a motor, someone's been ran over. Obviously, he wasn't ran over, he was just laying mortally wounded, and I'll just show you where it was here.
So what do you think of Middlesbrough? The Nutter channel says hi, Jamie. Someone's saying hi to you.
All right.
The Nutter channel.
The Nutter channel.
I like the sound of that.
So obviously the incident occurred right at the top of there, because I've seen the police photo, and when you look at the photo you can see it's happened and the other side's come out, so that's how the police basically were aware of there. So obviously he's ran from a distance to
Hi, Nezzy96. Sure. Where do you live? I'll come grab a bite to eat.
We haven't eaten all day.
I know. Sean's starving us.
Get some curry on the. That's where he died, in the road.
So that's why he collapsed.
Here's a spot where Lee Duffy died in the middle of this road. He collapsed. Lee Duffy collapsed right after being stabbed up there.
Obviously this is where the cars picked him up. Taxis, it's well known that taxis come. Seen who it was, drove off. There was two. I know that because the police have told me. And then one stopper by, I won't mention his name, but I know who it was. He obviously come. 2 or 3 other people, which I'll leave their names out, managed to get him up there, do a right, full speed to the general, but sadly he died on entering the hospital gates. And you know, the pathologist told the police, they said if basically all he'd have had to do is apply pressure to it, and it wouldn't have happened. But then again, the top doctors said to me, we would have struggled if it had happened on police. Apparently that incident, which I've done a lot of research for, you have between 5 and 60 minutes to live.
Wow.
And that was the fatal one. But obviously, I mean, I've been here a couple of times with the police and certain people, so for it to be at the top, for them you know, you see the distance, effectively he's ran off, and that's probably what's, you know, he's ran off and he screamed. And I've spoken to people who were there and they said it was just like a fountain. And the next day I know people, young lads, come up on the bike, and this was like the whole of Middlesbrough was just, everybody was here, you could see the blood. And you know, I said it on the documentary, for 2 weeks after Lee Duffy passed, it was an eerie feeling that, you know, never again I don't think will Middlesbrough ever get that, where it was just almost on a come down. You know, even people like 11-year-old kids like myself knew this character had been and died and gone. Didn't quite understand it, but you know, Middlesbrough was a place in mourning. It was rocked to its foundations. People were mixed emotions. Some were partying, some were devastated. But you know, I used to walk past this for years and years and years, and you know, every time I go up now, Sean, it's a really completely eerie feeling, because obviously I've done the 3 books and the 2 documentaries. I've met a lot of people around that case. I've met people who sat and watched it, and they'll never forget the blood in the air, that feeling, that noise of it hitting the pavement. Horrific. But this is where it all was, and you know, he's been dead longer than he's been alive now, and Middlesbrough will never forget that guy's name for sure. People like yourself, obviously I'm with Alex Reid later. He's fascinated with Lee Duffy, this young kid. But this is where it was, Sean. This is where he met his end.
And if you want to get Jamie's books, it's all under War Cry Publishing, and they're all on Amazon. Sykes, Unfinished Agony, Sweet Agony, Further Agony, and the Lee Duffy ones, what are they called?
The Whole of the Moon,
Whole of the Moon.
the Blood Moon, and
Blood Moon.
A Very South Bank Story. Obviously the 2 documentaries I did as well. Whole of the Moon and Too Far Too Soon. But obviously in a couple of weeks we're going to do a proper Middlesbrough one. This is just a quick one because we're going to meet Alex Reid. I wanted to show you where it all happened. But we're going to do a proper Lee Duffy stroke South Bank one, and we're even going to do a Paul Sykes Wakefield one as well in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We're going to go to another spot and we'll get back to you. Cheers.